right. All right, so we are starting with us in a standing position and just a little bit of our, for my yoga friends, we call this the rock the baby sway. So stand with your feet about hip or shoulder distance apart and just imagine that you're kind of, that sway that you do when you're holding a baby, it just kind of instinctively comes naturally. So just bend one knee and then the other, transfer your weight side to side. This is a great move just in general. If you've been sitting for long periods of time during the day and your back is getting a little achy, if you just stand up a little and do this rock the baby sway, it can be a nice way to just gently move into your hips and soothe your low back a little bit. So just know this is always a go-to if you're feeling a little bit low backy. All right, we got about 8 more seconds here. Great, and then we're gonna take it into some figure eights with the hips. So hands on the hips and just one hip is gonna lead and then the other. Feet are a pretty even stance, so just find a good even stance that works good for your legs and your hips. And then just kind of tune and notice, how's your back feeling? How are your knees feeling? How are your hips feeling? We got 10 seconds left. And then notice your energy level too. We have 3 speed rounds, but if you're feeling a little bit like speed is not for you this morning, you might choose to go a little bit slow and mindful. All right, time. Keep your feet at that nice wide distance, hands behind the head. We're gonna keep a micro bend in the knees, bend forward halfway, keep that nice long spine, come right back up. Bend your knees, bend forward halfway, or to the point that feels good. So if you notice when you were doing those hip circles, if your back was feeling a little cranky, then you might choose to moderate and go just to a depth that feels good. But we want to keep that nice flat back position. Keep your knees bent so you're not feeling anything shooting pain up into your butt. Three more seconds. We're going to keep our hands behind the head, but now we're going to take it into a light squat. So rather than bending forward and hinging from the waist, you're just going to think butt back, bend your knees, but you're just going to go a little bit. So think of this as a light warm-up round, noticing how your knees feel, noticing how your quadricep muscles are feeling this morning. And we have a bunch of walking backwards moves today. So just know that we are taking a billion steps back with our workout today. All right, we got 5 seconds left. And time, nicely done. Okay, take it into a light little twist. Let your arms kind of throw with you. Let your hips move, let your heels move, and just let your spine wake up. You go as fast or as slow as feels good. And then if you like just that little bit of add-on, you're gonna twist and throw one arm up over your shoulder. And then if you like that little head maneuver, you're gonna turn your head, but there you might like to slow it down a little bit just so you don't get too dizzy. Nice work. 5 seconds left here. All right, now take it into some side bends, just reaching one arm up and then the other. Ten seconds left. In these last 5 seconds, just get a sense of where your energy level is at, and then you'll grab the heaviest weights you feel like you're ready for this morning. So grab your heaviest weights that you've got. We're gonna load them right up at the chest and we're gonna take it into a sumo squat. So we're gonna step our feet to a nice wide configuration. We're gonna keep our weights loaded up our chest. We're gonna sink down into that squat, rise right back up. We got 1 minute on the clock. That's all you gotta do. Sink your butt down, rise right back up. How you position your legs is what makes you feel the strongest. So there's a slight external rotation in the legs. Feet as wide as feels good to you, but where do you feel the strongest? That's how you'll position your legs so you feel good about this movement. Keep your chest and your chin lifted. And then just check your knees. So if your knees have a tendency to kind of buckle in at that first little move, keep your inner thighs strong, sink into your squat, rise back up with that same sense of strength. Nice work, you guys. Beautiful form. 5 seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Okay, we're going to stick with those weights. We're going to sink into that sumo squat and hold it there. And now we're going to add on. So I'm going to readjust my legs just so I can get my heels the way I like them. Sink into that squat. We're going to rotate to one side, rotate to the other side, lift both heels, lower the heels, twist, twist, and lift both heels. That's the work. You go as fast or as slow as you like. This is not a speed round, but if you're feeling like you want speed all morning long, you do you. If you like adding that element of breath to your work, as you twist to one side, you're going to exhale, inhale to center, exhale the other side, and then lift your heels. So let your exhale help you on your effort. Yes, nice work. And time. Beautiful job. Come on up, shake your legs out. Stick with those weights if you can. We're going to keep them loaded up at the chest, but now we're going to take it into alternating rear lunges. Stepping one foot back and then the other. You go at a pace that feels good to you here. If you don't like alternating rear lunges, you can always do a forward lunge. So you could step forward instead if that feels like a stronger position for you, or if you feel like you're more in control, stepping forward. Do the position that feels good. You're still going to get the same amount of work, and it's better for you to feel strong than to feel like you're out of control of that movement. The other thing for our stepping back lunges, if you feel like you step back and it always feels a little wobbly, think about stepping slightly wide. So step your foot to the back corner of your mat, and that might help you stabilize. Nice. You guys look awesome. Great job. 20 seconds left. And time. Beautiful work. All right, now if you're switching around, this might be a great place to now take it with some light weights. It's going to be a backwards walk with our arms in a mummy position. So we're just going to hold our arms out in front of us. We're going to walk ourselves backwards. Once you find the end of your mat, turn yourself around, walk yourself backwards again. So this is our first round. We've got about 4 rounds of backwards walking. So take your time here. Keep your belly firm, shoulders nice and stable. And with this one, as you're doing that walking backwards, articulate through your foot. So think toe, ball, heel of the foot. Turn yourself around. Same thing here. Just find that articulation. Let that be your focus. Walking backwards and running backwards can be really great for our knee strength. So we like to keep all of our parts strong so everything helps support each other, which includes taking really great care of our knees. 10 seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Okay, stick with those weights, but now we're going to add on to this. So we're going to bend the elbows into that little bent elbow waitress carry. And now we're going to backwards walk the perimeter of your mat. So shift yourself over to one side and we're walking backwards. Do a little side step at the end of your mat. Turn yourself around and then walk backwards again. Do that little side step at the top of your mat and walk yourself backwards. You got it. Watch your gaze and focus your eyes so that you don't make yourself get dizzy. Still trying to find that articulation through the foot if you can, but the shoulders are now nice and engaged, belly is nice and firm. Awesome. And then if you like just to vary it up, switch directions and go the other way. Don't lose that elbow hold, so elbows are straight out in front of the shoulders. Yes, nice work, you guys, amazing. And time. Awesome job. Okay, now we're gonna take it to the front end of our mat, load up at the chest. We're gonna step backwards, take a squat, rise up. Other foot's gonna lead, step backwards, take a squat, rise up. And that's the method. You're gonna step, you're gonna alternate your foot pattern. So maybe your right leg leads first, squat, rise up, left leg leads, squat and rise up. Once you make it to the end of your mat, you're just gonna flip yourself around and walk backwards the other way, adding that squat in between each move. Alternate your lead foot, which means you gotta let your brain pay attention a little bit. Yes, nice work. If you're working with the breath, your exhale is gonna help you on the effort. So that might mean the sinking down or the pushing up of your squat, just depending on where you feel the effort comes from. And time. Awesome job. Okay, now we're going to move into a speed round. So set those weights down. This is our last backwards round. So we're going to jog backwards, get to the end of the mat, and you're going to do a little jump and turn around. So we're going to do a little jog backwards, hop and turn around, a little jog backwards, hop and turn around. If speed is not for you this morning, you might choose to just go at a nice mindful pace, articulating through the feet, and then turn around at the end of your mat with whatever vigor you like. But if a little jump feels good, impact is great for the bones, super good for our muscles, gets the heart rate up a little bit. You go as fast as you like. You're already halfway there. Nice work, you guys. Amazing. I find at one end of my mat, I turn around and then I jump. I don't know why. Three seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Okay, now I had to read my notes. All right, now we're going to take it into a bent over row. So grab some light weights if you've got them. All right, so it's going to be a double arm row and a double arm reach. So we're going to keep this bent over position, palms facing toward your knees or toward your shins. Row it up and then reach it up. Row it up and reach it up, but we're going for speed here. So if the weights are too much, leave the weights off. But if it feels okay to go with a little bit of a pace, use your control. Belly is firm, back is nice and solid. Nice, Mara, that looks awesome. Yes, Liz, beautiful. Man, you guys look good. Nice alternate, Robbie. I love that. Yes. So Robbie's doing a single arm reach, single arm reach. So if it feels better to do that single arm reach, do one at a time. Do the thing that feels really good and makes you feel strong. 20 seconds left. You got this. And time. Nicely done. Okay, our last round of speed, it's going to be a nice wide lunge. So start with your legs in a wide position. It's going to be put it down, pick it up, pick it up. So that's going to be the pattern. So you're going to put one weight down, put the weight down, empty hand, pick it up, put the weight down, put the weight down, pick it up, and pick it up. You got it. Now that you've got that down, you go as fast as you like. This is our last round of speed. So you go as fast as feels good to you. If going for speed has run its course for you, go slow and mindful, but you still want to find that pattern. Set it down, pick it up, pick it up. Yes. 20 seconds left. You got this. And time. Woo! Awesome job. All right, come on up. Set your weights off to the side. We're coming down onto the ground. So we're going to take it into a hovering tabletop, and we're going to start with a crawl. So if you do not want to come down onto the ground, you might choose to take a chair. But here we're just going to go into a tabletop and crawl. So if you like a hovering table, toes are going to be curled under, knees are going to be lifted, and you're walking yourself forward and you're walking yourself backwards. But if that knee up position feels like it's a little much, keep your knees down, crawl forward, crawl backwards. You're still going to get a lot of really awesome work going on here, even if you keep your knees down, because you're working the whole back chain of the body with a little bit of an alternating pattern. So you're really crisscrossing. You're already halfway there. Get a sense of how your wrists feel here. And then just know that next round, we have our frog hop. So if things are feeling a little mischievous, you might choose to use a chair so that things feel really good. All right, step your feet wide so they're out to the outer edges of your mat, and then bring your butt back to your heels. And now we're going to come into our frog hop. So hands are going to reach forward, hop your feet forward to meet, and then we're going to go backwards. So push off into your hands, hop your feet back, hands come back to meet. Reach forward, hop forward, reach back or push back, and then come up. You choose your variation here. If you like, you can do all of that in a chair or even at a wall, a nice wide squat position. Jump your feet back and jump your feet forward. So you can get that work without having to come super low down onto the ground. Admittedly, these frog hops are killer. 20 seconds left. You got this. You got 3 seconds. You got this. All right, time. Take it into a tabletop position. Woo, wipe that sweat off your brow. All right, now we're going to take 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other side. So we're going to lift the right leg up. It's going to be a bent knee position. You're going to keep that solid bend in the knees. Push your heel up towards the sky. 30 seconds of work here, working into that right glute. So we keep the knee bent, keep the foot flexed. Yes, nice work. Solid tabletop position, so your shoulders are nice and stable. Check that leg too. So we want to keep that nice 90-degree bend. So if your leg's getting a little lengthened out, bend that knee, bring it back in. Keep that hamstring engaged and the glute muscles. All right, switch, take it to the other leg. Nice. All right, give it 3 more pumps because we went 3 seconds over on the other side. Nice work and time. Okay, spin yourself around, grab your TheraBand, and we're going to get into a little V-sit. So we're going to take our TheraBand, wrap it around the bottoms of the feet, come up into a little V-sit, and you choke up on that TheraBand just as much as feels good. We're going to push the legs out, bring it back up and in with control. We got 1 minute on the clock. You go as fast or slow as you feel good about. Make sure it feels like a good solid position. You can even double wrap your TheraBand so you're working your grip, but most of the effort is coming from other places. Now, if you're feeling like you need a lighter version of that, feet are going to stay on the ground. TheraBand is still wrapped up under the feet. You lean back a little bit, come back up nice and strong. Keep that nice long, you want to think plank spine here. So the abdominal muscles are slightly drawn in, back is nice and solid, and that might be a good variation, especially for some of us, the tailbone on the floor can get a little bit too much. 13 seconds left, you got it. And time, nice work. Okay, we're coming down onto our back into a dead bug, but we are using our TheraBand for that. So our first round of our dead bug is going to be working the arms. So come down into your reverse tabletop position, find the tail ends of your TheraBand, get yourself situated so that knees are in line with the hips, legs are in that 90-degree bend. Everything is going to stay as solid as it can. So your legs are going to stay in that solid, stable position. One arm is going to reach out, come back in, other arm is going to reach out and come back in. We've got 1 minute on the clock, just working the arms. Next minute, we'll work the legs. So find your solid position. Everything else stays as stable as it can as one arm extends out and then the other. So we got to keep the legs engaged, the abdominal muscles engaged. Nice work, you guys. Beautiful. And time. Awesome job. Okay, if you need to release your TheraBand for a second, just to give your wrists and your fingers a little wiggle, because it can be a little bit much in the grip. But then once you feel ready, if you've kind of wiggled all that stuff out, we're back to that dead bug position. Arms are now going to stay as stationary as they can, and we're going to alternate pushing our legs. We're going to keep an even distance between the knees, which means as you push out, you want to imagine perhaps 2 fist widths of space. So imagine you could put your 2 fists between your knees. That's the even space you're going to hold. You're going to push the leg straight out and then the other. Arms are going to stay as stable as they can. Yes, nice work. Nice, Karen. That looks wonderful. You got it. 10 seconds left. And time. Okay, keep your right leg in your loop, step your left leg out. So we're going to keep the right leg banded. And now we're going to reach that right leg up towards the ceiling. And now we're going to really put a lot of tension on your TheraBand. So you're going to choke up as high as you can and then pull the elbow down and anchor your elbows. The elbow's not going to move off the ground and you're not going to move that leg in a full range of motion. So you're going to keep that tight tension on the TheraBand, push your heel down towards the ground, bring it right back up so the heel is in line with the hip. If you need that extra grip, at this point, my hands are super sweaty. You might choose to double wrap your TheraBand So you keep and maintain that really solid grip. We got 30 seconds on this leg, and then we're going to switch. And again, you're not trying to get full range of motion. What we're trying to do is get that hamstring muscle to help kick on. So keep your elbow pinned to the ground, keep a bunch of tension on your TheraBand. Heel pushes down towards the ground and comes back with the same amount of control. 6 seconds left on this leg. All right, pause for a second, relax your grip, step your left foot into the loop, step your right foot out, and then you're gonna choke up again. Pull that elbow down, keep that elbow pinned to the ground, and then away we go. Left heel is gonna push down, come back up, keep a tight hold, lots of tension on the TheraBand, so your leg doesn't have a lot of range of motion, and see if you can feel the back of the thigh kicking on to help push that heel down towards the ground. Nice work, you guys, beautiful. All right, keep your left leg in that band. Relax your grip. Both legs are gonna come right back up into it, but now we're gonna choke up on the band, pull the elbows down, keep the elbows pinned, and now we're just gonna push the heels out and bring them back in with control. And I'm gonna spin around just so you can get a view of what my legs are doing here. So we've got that nice straight leg position, or just as straight as your legs like to go. Now separate it so that heels are in line with the hips, and then keep that even distance. That's where you're going to stay at. Push the heels out, come back in with control. So it might not be a big range of motion, but we want to feel the outer thighs kicking on and the inner thighs so that we control. We don't ricochet back in. We come back in with the same amount of control as we push out. You got it. If you feel like you're not getting quite enough work, choke up on your band just a little bit more, create a little extra tension. Keep a nice flex in the foot. Toes and knees are pointing towards you, so they're not externally rotated at all. And that's where we find that action. So we push the blade edges of our heels out, or push the heels out so that you can just get that sense of finding that work coming through the side of your thighs, maybe down even into the side of your glutes. And time. Okay, relax your grip just for a second. Bend your knees, give your legs a little shake, but we do have one more round with a very similar maneuver. So both legs are gonna be in the loop of your band, but now we're gonna walk our hands up, choke up on the band. So you're gonna keep a little bit of a tension, but now arms and legs are gonna move together. So you're gonna keep that nice bend in the elbows, tension in the arms and the legs. Legs come out wide, keep that same tension in your arms, legs come back in. Keep that tension, pull the legs out, keep that tension, bring it back in. Pull out and in. Your arms do not change the resistance on the TheraBand. They hold that resistance nice and tight, and the arms move with your legs and then come back in. Yes, nice work. If you feel like you're not getting quite enough work, choke up a little bit more, create a little bit more tension, but hold that tension. So we keep a nice bend in the elbows, biceps are engaged. Take 3 more in and out. All right, and then when you're ready, release your grip on your TheraBand, set it down and off to the side. We're gonna bring soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right into a butterfly position. So bring your feet together, take your knees out. Once you've got your way here, we're gonna count to 5. So hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're gonna reset the hips. So knees together inner thighs together, toes together. Push your knees in towards each other. Hold that pushing in. So you're pushing actively in. Knees are pushing in towards each other. Hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step your feet to hip width distance apart. We're going to exhale into a halfway bridge and hold. So hands on the ground. Exhale, lift your butt up away from the ground. Backs of the ribs are going to try to stay connected to the earth. Push gently into your heels. So maybe you feel the backs of your thighs kick on. Knees are going to reach towards the toes. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your hips down. Come back to that butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. Hold that butterfly. It might feel a little bit different this time through. So just notice if it changed up a little bit, feels a little bit more accessible. Hold that butterfly for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees together, thighs together, toes together. Push your knees in towards each other and hold that action. Hold that pushing. So we're pushing actively in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Step your feet to hip width distance. Hands down on the ground. Exhale up to that halfway bridge. Backs of the ribs are going to connect to the ground best you can. Shoulder heads are going to reach down towards the ground. Push into the heels. Knees reach towards the toes. Hold that position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your hips down. Pull both knees into your chest. Give yourself a light little squeeze. And then from here, we're going to rock and roll up to a seated position. So rock and roll your way up. Send your legs out in front of you with a little micro bend in your knees. Take a big breath. Reach up and overhead. Exhale, reach toward your toes. Does not matter if you can touch your toes. This is actually a little bit more of a gentle stretch to the low back. So just check in. Make sure you're not zinging up into your glutes and everything feels good. Awesome. Spin your legs around, find your way into a tabletop position. And then for my yoga friends, we call this puppy pose or heart melting pose, but it's really a stretch for the upper body. So with your tabletop, keep your knees in line with your hips or hips in line with your knees. Walk your hands forward, drop your chest down and get that nice stretch to the upper back body, armpit, chest, maybe even notice a little bit of sensation in your shoulders. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly bring it on up. We're going to curl the toes under, lift your knees up, walk your hands or your feet towards each other. So you come into a little bit of a folded position. And then with a super generous bend in your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to standing. And then you take a handhold or hands free. That's totally up to you, but we're going to stretch the quads. So bend one knee, catch hold of the foot, and then hug your knee in towards your knee, heel in towards your butt, and think hip forward slightly. One more moment in this sort of relaxed, stretchy position. And then just for the finish, take it a little bit active, push your foot actively into your hand and your hand resists. Nice. And then with control, release, and we're going to switch to the other side. So swing your foot out, catch hold of the blade edge of your foot, hug your knee in towards your knee, heel in towards your butt, hips forward slightly. Relax the quadricep muscles best you can. And then actively finish. Push your foot into your hand. Feel the quadricep muscles kick on. Nice. And then when you're ready, release. Woo! Brush off your hands. Grab your foam roller if you're sticking around, or if you're dripping with sweat like me, wipe it off. You guys are awesome. Nice work today. Bye, Robbie. Have a great day.